We're back again. Welcome back to another video today. My name is Andre Tainer. I'm not with Michael Hernan again, sadly. Literally recorded this about 20 minutes after I filmed the other one, but that's okay. So today we're going to be doing my second mock draft. So watch this. We'll flip the page. I keep showing the other way. Here we go. This is my more in-depth one. You can see I got all the names and teams written down. This will be a little bit quicker because I did most of my talking about the players in the last one. So yeah, I guess we'll just get started. Select draft for all teams. So I'm just gonna do a quick 1, 2, 3, 4. Those four should be the top four. Nobody else should be drafted within the top four. This is where we get a little bit different. With the fifth pick, the Clippers are going to draft Keaton Wagler. I talked about him a little bit. Super good scorer, taller point guard. He fits in with Darius Garland much better than most of the other point guards. I still like Michael Brown at 5. I think he either goes 5 or 6, and a cuff either goes. I'm not gonna say it. 6, 7. But yeah. But this next pick though, like I said, I'm gonna go Mikel Brown. This would be huge if the Nets could get this guy, either this guy or Darius Akuff. And then obviously I'm going Darius Akuff at 7. Um, like honestly, you're thrilled to get any of these guys, 1, 2, or 3. The only guy I'd be a little bit disappointed about is getting Kingston Flemings, but this is where we change a little bit. So last time we had Mikel Brown, a cuff, or no, it was Mikel Brown. Was it a cuff and then Wagler? I don't remember. But this time we're not going Kingston Flemings. We're going Braden Burries. A lot of people are saying that these 4 point guards should go in a row. I also agree, but if I'm gonna make 2 mock drafts, I gotta make it a little bit different. And then at 9, obviously you get Kingston Flemings. Like I said, he's a little bit less of a scorer, but more of a distributor. And with Cooper Flag, you kind of need that. I mean, I like Ryan Nembhard too, the point guard from Gonzaga, the undrafted guy from last year. And then no change here. We're gonna go Ade Mara at 10, and then 11, no change here. We're going Yaxel Lindenberg. But then here, OKC is going to get LeBaron Philon. It's basically 2 SGAs, so let's be real. I think this should just be a little bit cooler, personally. He's a super good scorer. He won't need to play defense. And if, like I said last time, if they draft LeBaron Philon at 12, and then who knows? I could see Quaintance falling to 17. That's what I forgot to mention last time. Is people would be like, "Why are you drafting him at 12?" Well, because I think he's a top 12 player when healthy, when included in the team. And then at 13, I have Nate Ament. A lot of people are saying that the Bucks should draft him at 10. I don't like that. I think I like Nate Ament's game, but like I said, he has to fill into his body. Like people are saying, "Oh, he's gonna fall that far." I don't think he's gonna fall that far. I think he'll be a top 15 pick. If he fell to the Bulls, I would not be opposed to them drafting him and Caleb Wilson. Ooh, I just like hit something. Um, and then here we go. At 14, I have Jaden Quaintance. I feel like this would be amazing, an amazing pick for the Hornets. You already have a tall center in Ryan Kalkbrenner, and you bring in a defensive demon in Jaden Quaintance. I love that. And then here at 15, I'm going to go Cameron Carr. I was talking about this earlier, how the Bulls were thinking about drafting him or Morez Johnson. I would love that. Um, I think Cameron Carr is a super athletic guard. Um, he could probably go even higher than 15, but he's not because this draft class is so loaded. I think if this class wasn't so loaded, he'd be a top 10 pick. If he stayed in the draft or stayed out of the draft for next year, he'd definitely be a top 10 pick next year. All right. At number 16, I have the Grizzlies drafting Haynes Steinbach. You get I almost said Carlos Boozer again. You get Cam Boozer and then Hans Steinbach. I think those are 2 really good bigs that you could throw in there. You're basically replacing Jaren Jackson Jr. with 2 guys, but still. And then at 17, I hate this, but I have the Thunder getting Morez Johnson. Dude, do not let the Thunder get these 2 guys. I hate it. I hate how the Thunder have 2 top 20 picks because they're going to get 2 really good players no matter what. Unless they trade away. Like, they could literally, I could see them. I can't scroll up, but I could see them. This is a trade I think that could happen. I think, oh my, don't even tell me that this is going to happen. I could see Dallas trading back to 12 and 17 and somehow a Daymara or Yaxel Lendeborg falling to 12 and then or no, what was I? No, I'm speaking gibberish. I was thinking that two Michigan guys. I mean, it's easily still feasible. You could have two Michigan guys fall from. Oh no, I was saying it the other way around. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. I could see that the Mavericks would want to trade to 12 and 17, and the Thunder get the ninth pick and get a Kingston Flemings or a LeBaron Philon, no matter what. And then somehow two Michigan guys fall to Dallas at 12 and 17. Don't even say that, bro. I would hate that so much because it'd be a super good trade for Dallas, but then Dallas is also giving the Thunder a top 10 pick. See, like, this is like the trading part that I like to talk about that I could see being feasible and could happen. All right. At 18, I have the Hornets drafting Koa Pete. I think if they got Koa Pete and Jaden Quaintance, two big forwards. I mean, you could say Quaintance is a center, but Koa Pete, dude, that'd be so fun to watch. Con Knipple, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Koa Pete, Jaden Quaintance. Um, I mean, you could just throw out the other rookies they have or second year guys they'll have. Kalkbrenner, McNeely. Um, I'm missing somebody, but no, Kalkbrenner was their starting center. Well, Musa Diabate. At 19, I have the Raptors drafting Kareem Lopez. Last time I had them drafting Christian Anderson, but I know that I was saying how the Raptors like their forwards, and this would be a good guy from Mexico. And then at 20, I just don't see the Spurs going anywhere other than Chris Sanak. And then here at 21, I was talking about how the Pistons were going to take Ibuka Okori for a straight score off the bench. I see them doing that in this draft. At 22, I have Philly taking Dalen Swain from Texas. I think this would be a really good pick because last time I had them taking Koa Pete. I think Koa Pete is basically Dalen Swain, except he's a little bit more of a scorer and Dalen Swain's a little bit more of a defender. I'm not saying Pete is a bad defender or Swain is any less of a scorer. I'm just saying that their games are a little bit different from each other. At 22, I have the Hawks drafting, or no, 23, sorry. Why does that say 2? 23, I have the Hawks taking Bennett Sturts from Iowa. I think he's more of a, I mean, this is either, this pick is either, if they both fall, it's either Anderson or Sturts. I just like Sturts and the Hawks a little bit more. And then at 24, I have the Knicks drafting a center this time. Again, just a different one. I have them taking Taurus Reed from UConn. A little bit of a change. I think he's just basically the same thing as Mitchell Robinson, except younger. So if he'll depart in free agency, but like I don't know if they have contract talks with him yet. So I guess we'll see. And then at 25, this is where I have the Lakers getting a center. I have them drafting Henry Vasar. I think this would be huge for the Lakers. You have an athletic big in Jackson Hayes who can come off the bench. I'd start Vasar right now, personally, over Jackson Hayes. But we'll see what goes on in free agency. At 26, I have the Nuggets getting Christian Anderson. This would be amazing. I'd love to watch Christian Anderson in a Nuggets jersey. He plays he's the type of distributor that can distribute to Jokic, and he's the type of shooter that Jokic can distribute to him. It's awesome. I love this fit. At 27, I have the Celtics drafting Allen Graves. I think he's a really good forward. Like I said last time, he can shoot, he can defend mostly. I mean, he can probably guard 3 through 5. I like it. And then I don't make a different pick here. I take Isaiah Evans at 28. I think that is a really good pick. At 29, though, here I take Josh Jefferson. I think that if you still have James Harden and you believe that he still has a couple of good years left in him, you take Josh Jefferson as best player available, and you have him come off the bench as your big that can score in the paint, that can hit the mid-range shots. That's how I have it. And then at 30 here, instead of, you know how, wait, did I say this last time? Was I talking about, I'm so stupid. In the last video, I was talking about how Klay Thompson and Alex Caravan were the same player. What was because this is the draft I have him getting drafted by the Mavericks. So that's what I was talking about. I guess I'll explain myself here. So in the last video, I had the Timberwolves drafting Alex Caravan at 33. So what I was thinking is that they're supposed to draft him forward. You know, they just traded Julius Randle. That's why the Nets have the 28th pick. They'll pick up him in the second round to fulfill the three-point shooting and have a little bit better efficiency. There we go. So now I'll explain this one. I think that the Mavericks will draft Alex Caravan because they'll start Klay Thompson and then they'll basically just bring a younger Klay Thompson, not a prime Klay Thompson, a younger Klay Thompson off the bench. There we go. At 31, first pick of the second round, I didn't make a different choice. So with Zuby Ejiofor and then the Nets, or not the Nets, the Knicks having Tarish Reed, that's two bigs that you can move around. At Memphis, at 32, I'm taking Malik Thomas. Who did they draft? Oh, they drafted. This is where I had them taking another big last mock draft. I think Malik Thomas, if they are going to trade away Ja Morant, this is the guy that they're going to want to draft. Okay, now this can't be Alex Caravan this time. So 33, I have the Wolves taking Trayvon Brazil. This is a little bit of a reach, but that's okay. I think. Oh, back-to-back Arkansas guys, by the way. So instead of drafting Brazil last draft, they ended up getting Caravan to fall to them. So now, this time, they're taking a forward that will fulfill more of the rebounding and big man style of Julius Randle. There we go, I fixed it. At 34, I have the Kings taking Sergio De Laria. Best player off the board, more of a younger guy. I had them taking Camille not Camille, that's a soccer player. I don't remember what his name is. Jack Cale. Okay, there we go. And then at 35, I have the Spurs taking Bruce Thornton. I think since he can distribute a little bit better, I had the last draft, I had them taking Braden Smith. I would like to see Bruce Thornton in a Spurs jersey because he could score. He's like De'Aaron Fox, but I guess better. Yeah, get it? Because he sucked in the finals. No, but seriously, De'Aaron Fox is a good player. I just think Bruce Thornton is also just like De'Aaron Fox, and I think there's more guys that play like De'Aaron Fox that are athletic. Thornton is the most athletic guy, but we'll just see. At 36, I have the Clippers taking Ryan Conwell. Again, another best player available, team fit type of guy. I just realized this whole time, I don't know if I can hear it in the microphone, my bathroom fan has been going on this whole time. I don't know. I'm just saying that just in case people can hear it in the video. But I think Ryan Conwell is a super good scorer, and I already talked about most of these guys that have been. I think I've talked about every single one of these guys that have been drafted. But I think that this would be a good fit. He's a better Bradley Beal as of right now. And then at 37, I have OKC drafting Richie Saunders. I had them taking Peter Suter in this spot last draft. I think Richie Saunders is just elite 3-point shooter. That's what they need. He's like Caruso without the defense. It's just straight threes, but better than Caruso at 3-pointers. The Bulls at 38. I had them taking Babacar Miller. I think that's what I had last draft as well. Yes, I did. Okay. So that's self-explanatory. At 39, I have was this the same pick too? Houston taking Emmanuel Sharp at 39. Yep, so I don't have to talk about that one. Just talk about Houston and the system and stuff like that. And then at 40, I have the Celtics drafting. Okay, who did I have the Celtics drafting the first round? I had them drafting Allen Graves. So I love this pick because then they get Ugana Onyenso, and I talked about how good he was at defense. But this is a really good pick. I love this. I love how Braden Smith falls perfectly into the lap of the Heat, and he's just switching spots with Bruce Thornton. So then here I have the Spurs taking Jaden Bradley, another point guard who can distribute the ball. And I could say that, okay, the Spurs, like I said in the last video, the Spurs probably aren't going to make all these second round picks. But I could see them drafting Bruce Thornton and Jaden Bradley just for the fact that, okay, you don't have to play Stephon Castle at the 1 anymore. And then you have two young guys that can learn behind De'Aaron Fox, and you don't have Chris Paul anymore. So I like Bruce Thornton as the guy who comes off the bench and score, and then Jaden Bradley is the guy who can come in and play a little bit more of the role of passing, cutting, trying to get open layups. You know what I mean? Okay, and then at 43, I have Otega Owe going to the Nets. This was the same pick as last time, I'm pretty sure. 43. Yep. I personally like this pick a lot because he's just super athletic, and I was raving about him in the last video. But then at 44, I have the Spurs taking Quadir Copeland. This is a little bit of a reach. He fell a little bit more in my last mock draft, but I think, like I said, he's a really good defender. I personally think that he could go out there and distribute. Like, honestly, if you have Victor Wembanyama, you just need to have a bunch of guys that are willing to pass the ball. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going off of in this draft. And then at 45, I think they go Sacramento Kings go Peter Suter. Like I said, he can score at will. He's on a team that isn't very good. He'll be getting playing time. So that's what. Holy cow. There we go. And then at 46, last draft, it was Ugana Onyenso. I have them taking Felix Akpara this time. Again, he's a forward center that can play defense. That's what I'm looking for them. They don't have a lot of center minutes. They have Goga Pataze, who's probably not coming back unless they sign him to a couple of year of extension. They have Wendell Carter, who isn't very. I wouldn't say he's okay, but you know what I mean. I'm saying that they need more center play. At 47, I have Phoenix instead of taking Nick Boyd. They had take Jack Cale. They just want a guy who's super young. He's 20. He can come in and he can play the spot that Devin Booker doesn't want to play. You know what I mean? Because he's changed to number 15, so he can play as the secondary guy. Jalen Green can play as the secondary guy, and he could just develop. They'll probably send him to the G League at some point. Okay, at number 48, I have Dallas taking Jacoby Gillespie. I was raving about this guy. I said he's a super good shooter. He can pass the ball. I'm about to have to catch this fly again. Um, but yeah, I think this would be a good fit. Let's just look back at their past picks. So they drafted did they got Kingston Flemings, so they could just have him as an off-ball shooter, and Flemings could distribute the ball to Cooper Flagg as well as Jacoby Gillespie can pass the ball. But this is also the one where I said that the Mavs were taking Alex Caravan. So a lot of shooting, I'm saying, in this draft for the Mavericks, which they need because their 3-point shooters were like Klay Thompson, he's 34 or someone like that, and then Cooper Flagg. At 49, the Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets taking Isaiah Nelson, a big forward who can play defense and can contribute just basically on the defensive side because Jokic doesn't play defense. All right. At 50, I have Nick Martinelli again, just because he's a good forward. That's all I have. And at 51, this is where I have Washington taking Nick Boyd. I already explained how good of a scorer he was and how if he picks up on his efficiency, he's the opposite of Trae Young. He wants to shoot a lot. Trae Young shoots a lot as well, but he passes the ball and gets assists. He's a good passer. Nick Boyd didn't really fill that role in Wisconsin. So that's why I'm saying that if he wants to be more of a 3-point shooter and a scorer at will, then he'll have to pick up the efficiency numbers. At 52, I have the Clippers drafting Malik Brown. He's a good rebounding forward. I think that he will be more of a guy that can just go out there and run around, play defense, and rebound. At least that's how I think. Houston at 53 will go. Does that say Bryce Hopkins? That does say Bryce Hopkins. Again, I like how he is going to pick up as a forward that's athletic. They're losing Tari Easton. They're losing out of guards and forwards. So I think that at 53, they'll be able to pick up a little bit of that left in the second round. And then Golden State at 54, I have Tamin Lipsey coming off the board. This is where I was talking about how he isn't the guy that wants to shoot a lot. He can pass the ball. He can still score, but I think that it would be different. He's a different type of role than Melvin Council, who I had in the last video, would play for the Warriors. And then at 55, I don't think the Knicks would actually make this pick, but I have Milos Uzan. He's the best guard on the board. You've already drafted a center. You've drafted a forward. I think that Milos Uzan would be a good fit in New York. At 56, I have the Bulls drafting the teammate of Bryce Hopkins, Dylan Mitchell. He is a very athletic guy, forward. I mean, I can't really say that much other than Bryce Hopkins. They're both athletic. I'm pretty sure Dylan Mitchell was more of the 3-point shooter. Or no, it was Bryce Hopkins was more of the 3-point shooter. So I actually have him swapped. So I had Bryce Hopkins getting drafted by the Bulls last one, and then Dylan Mitchell getting drafted by the Bulls in this one. Okay, at 57, this is where I have the Hawks getting Melvin Council off the board. Self-explanatory, super athletic, hit the mid-range, get to his spots on the court. What else are you gonna ask for a second-round point guard? At 58, I have the I would love this actually. Aaron Nkrumah to the Pelicans for their one draft pick this year. I think that'd be huge. We already explained that. At 59, we're gonna say that the reach is gonna come a little bit here for the Timberwolves. We're gonna go Malik Reneau. Again, I'm gonna keep repeating myself. Super athletic big. He's not really a 3-point shooter. He can play defense. He can dunk the ball. He can get to the lane. He can shoot the mid-range a little bit. I like what I'm seeing out of that pick. You're picking up at the forward position that you lost with the Julius Randle trade. With Trevon Brazile, that's the rebounding. With the Malik Reneau, that's the scoring. I'm kind of going Moneyball here. We lost Jason Giambi. We're not going to get another Jason Giambi. We have to find 3 players that can replace the production that he had. That's what I'm trying to say here with Julius Randle. And Julius Randle was no Jason Giambi, I can tell you that one. And then finally, with the pick number 60, we are going to go Tyler Nickel. I'm just going best player available. That's all I have to say. But yeah, other than that, I guess I could go through some of the undrafted guys. I like CJ Gunn. I had him go to the Wizards last draft. Lamar Wilkerson will 100% find a place to stay with his scoring ability. Again, with Jaden Henley, we talked about him at Grand Canyon. Rafael Castro will be a steal if he goes undrafted. Trey Kaufman-Renn, he'll probably get picked up by whichever team drafted Braden Smith, which is the Heat. Kylan Boswell is really good. Darian Williams, I think he should get drafted personally. Seth Trimble, the Latrell Wrightsell, he just shoots the lights out. He'll probably get picked up on a G League contract. Dartmouth, wow. Keba Keita, he will be nasty if he gets to a team undrafted. Let's just keep going through here. Trey Donaldson can distribute the rock. Sam Hoiberg. Ven Allen Lubin, that's an undrafted guy. Or underrated guy. Cruz Davis is super underrated, but I'm pretty sure he transferred. Dominique Daniels, he'll get picked up on a 2-way. I guarantee it. Rowan Brumbaugh, he's staying in college though. Tyler Lundblade got transferred. He's going back to college. Reese Dixon Waters, I think he'll be a good player. Oh, I thought I said Darian Reed. I'm like, he is. Hey, Miles Barnstable. I'm pretty sure he was the Whitewater legend. Boopy Miller, how is he at 166? Chad Baker Mazara. Michi Johnson. I saw Chase Ross up there. Roddy Gale, super athletic guy. Nigel Pack. Nate Kings. Oh, Wilt Cheddar. Nick Davidson. Malik Dia. Mark Mitchell. Wow, they had him at 248. I just realized that. Michael Handelgoden or Ogden. He's a large human being. Oscar Clough. Max McKinnon, I love his game. Robert McRae, Malik Messina Moore, Riley Kugel. All right. Oh, no, that must be it. Trey Carroll, Devin Askew. But yeah, I'll scroll up. I'll let everybody look at the draft class one more time. But I appreciate the watch if you've made it this far. And just let me know any other video ideas that you guys have. And my name's Andre Tainer, and I'll see you all next time.